fifth place, equaling his career best in MotoGP, and Pol Espargaro, a best ever on the KTM, in sixth.
Very interesting row three. Valentino Rossi, Aleix Espargaro and Bradley Smith on the KTM. Last year's winner, Cal Crutchlow, heads the fourth row with Andrea Dovizioso and Danny Pedrosa.
And British Aprilia rider Sam Lowes complete the field on row 8.
The sun is still shining. The track is dry. It's 4 o'clock. Well, it's approaching 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Australia. The final sighting lap for the 23 riders.
Because whilst we were told that Dobby had switched to the soft option rear when the tyre warmer has come off and it looks to be a medium, it has happened that they've not been painted, but I'm desperately trying to find someone from Michelin to find out. I will get back to you shortly.
Many thanks, Dylan. Partly cloudy, track temperature 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Why wouldn't he? He's got nothing to lose, Zarco. Of all the qualifiers on that front row of the grid, Zarco the only man with the soft front Michelin tyre as well as the soft rear.
He's made it work before, hasn't he, Matt?
Yeah, he has. And he'll need that crucial, aggressive start, because that's when he's going to have his tyres in their best.
Marquez and Dovizioso separated 11 points. And Vinales, 41 points down. Dylan.
Yeah, guys, I can confirm. So Ducati did a little bit of a poker trick there. They took the medium out and put the medium straight back in. So Dobby is on medium rear. That is very interesting.
There we go.
They said
Marc Marquez playing circuit. Round 16 in the MotoGP World Championship. Who will be king of the island?
Great start from pole position by Repsol Honda man Marc Marquez. Jack Miller got away well from that second row. Miller looks like he's already up in the second place as they sweep down into the Doohan corner. Marquez definitely got the whole shot. Andrea Marquez got the initial drag from the line, but Jack Miller was superb from fifth on the grid. Here he is, then down in the brakes for turn 4 for the first time. Valentino Rossi aggressive up the inside of Pol Espargaro. Rossi's had a good start. He's already now up in the 5th place.
But Miller leads the way. Up through Siberia he comes, up over the road. They plunge down Lukey Heights towards turn 10. Miller has got absolutely nothing to lose. Rossi up the inside of Pol Espargaro.
Oh, and Johan Zarco dive-bombing Bradley Smith on the brakes at turn number 10. Aggressive as always from the Frenchman. He picked up Bradley Smith. He had nowhere to go, turning.
Bradley Smith, Andrea Dovizioso is still down in 11th place.
Yeah, Pol Espargaro was out well wide going into that first corner. So that's a mistake from Espargaro. That's cost him crucial lap time, or maybe it was Bradley Smith. Jack Miller, though, still leads the way. Zarco
too unhappy that it's Jack Miller leading the way rather than one of his championship rivals. They can settle into the race, but Miller is setting one hell of a pace at the front.
How much is this gung-ho strategy at the start of the race going to affect Jack Miller's rear tyre over the full race distance? He really is pushing up Dovizioso. He's down in 20th place.
That is crucial. Marquez second, Dovizioso now in 20th place. The championship is slipping away from the Ducati rider as they come across the line. Miller, to the cheers of the crowd, still leads away as they race down towards the Doohan. Then you see Marquez. Zarco is through, and Zarco now is chasing hard after Marquez.
That mistake by Dovizioso going into the Doohan corner. Vinales has found a way up the inside of Marc Marquez. Oh, there's a touch there between Zarco and Marquez at turn number 4. We know Johan Zarco super aggressive. Vinales found his way through on Marquez at turn. Contact there between the two of them. Andrea Dovizioso's found his way through on Alvaro Bautista, but he's only recovered 1 place back to 19th.
Miller still leads away, but it's pretty hectic behind, and he's fighting his way back. Johan Zarco blasts his way past Aleix Espargaro. 2 Yamahas going well, though, in these conditions with Ross.
Jack Miller then leads this Australian Grand Prix by just under a full second. 9/10 years clear of Maverick Vinales in second place. This is the podium challenge, or the victory challenge even, that Valentino Rossi did not expect, but you can never rule him out on a Sunday afternoon. Aleix Espargaro and Johan Zarco are having a real good dogfight for 5th place.
The move here is Andrea Dovizioso. Yeah, he has just got to salvage what he can, hasn't he?
Well, it's a case of damage limitation now for Dovizioso. He's still in 18th place. That mistake at Doohan corner very early on in this race cost him well over 3 seconds. Dropped out of the point-scoring places.
And Brock Parks.
What a job by Karel Abraham there. He's the top Ducati at the moment, 11th and 12th place.
We ride with Valentino Rossi. That is Marc Marquez behind him.
First time Jack Miller has led a MotoGP
live championship as we stand. It would be a 24-point advantage for Marc Marquez with 2 rounds of the championship remaining, but these result places are not going to remain the same because Valentino Rossi has moved into second place past his teammate Maverick Vinales at the hairpins. 11 and then 12 onto the Dewan Straight they will come. Sorry, the Gardner Straight, down Lucky Heights, and then up towards 11 and 12. It really has closed right up at the front, as you can see, right up at the front.
What about the 2 men at the front of this race? Jack Miller broke his right leg 3 weeks ago. Valentino Rossi broke his right.
To be first into turn 1, it's Maverick Vinales. Vinales leads the way. Rossi thinks about getting up the inside. What a battle it is between the 2 Yamahas. There is Miller, Marc Marquez right behind him, and Marquez gets inside Miller at the southern loop.
Yeah, the door was open for Marc Marquez. He doesn't need any second in. But
here in 2014, up over the rise they come at Siberia. What a start to the race. There's still 21 and a half laps to go. The crowd are gobsmacked.
Andrea Dovizioso's picked up 1 more place. He's 16th. What a race this is so far here in Phillip Island. The top 11. Getting a bit of wheel spin coming out of that final corner there. He didn't have the drive grip at all, did he? The Yamahas didn't even need the slipstream. The blitz by Jack Miller down the Gardner Straight. Vinales just held his nerve on the brakes. You've got to be pretty strong and aggressive to outbrake Valentino Rossi going into the Dewan corner. Is Marquez about to pounce on Vinales at that
down towards the Stoner corner?
Marquez is phenomenal in the southern loop. Last time around he picked up Jack Miller. This time around it's Maverick Vinales. Miller's trying to have a look up the inside of Johan Zarco. A tight inside line there from Jack Miller. That's super aggressive, giving Johan Zarco a taste of his own medicine in many respects.
Another unbelievable MotoGP race here at the best circuit of them all.
Rossi just 1 win in the last 25 races, and Zarco up the inside. Brilliant move by Johan Zarco on the brakes. A daring raid up the inside of Maverick Vinales. Zarco then back inside that top 3.
Zarco
the Dewan corner, can't get close to let use the slipstream and outbrake Rossi into that frighteningly quick turn 1. Alex Espargaro's gone down. Alex Espargaro
was on for Espargaro.
Is it Espargaro or is it Cal Crutchlow? Oh, it's Alex Espargaro. Yeah, the factory a brilliant man. Unfortunately, it looked like he got in a little.
Not messing it up this time. The Moto2 world champion up into second place, and Marquez relegated to 3rd.
There was hardly any left. Look how wide Alex Espargaro was. So far out wide at the Dewan corner. The sparks start flying. Not a good day then for the factory Aprilia team.
Crutchlow is certainly not out of this one at the moment.
Yeah, Crutchlow said yesterday if he could hang on to that lead group in the first half of the race, watch out for him. He fancies his chance of a repeat success from last year because his time management and his endurance on those worn tyres has been fantastic all weekend. Is Zarco about to attack Rossi on the brakes?
Just got past Hoy Lorenzo to take over 11th place, but these are crucial points, aren't they?
Down at turn 4 then for the 9th time of asking, and Jack Miller up the inside of Maverick Vinales. Rossi's out wide then at turn 4. Rossi out wide. Now, was it a mistake or was he giving a hand?
So Johan Zarco leads the way. Pole position, you remember, a week ago at Motegi in Japan in absolutely atrocious conditions. This is him in the dry. This is really tightening up to be one hell of a race.
Got to say, the 2 Suzuki men as well, Andrea Iannone and Alex Rins are having an outstanding
slipstream. Zarco so good into the Dewan corner. So Zarco still leads the way with 18 laps to go. Look out for Marquez, he's so good round this southern loop. Valentino Rossi 3rd, Maverick Vinales 4th. Jack Miller doing a great job hanging in there. Then we see Cal Crutchlow and
his left shoulder. What he will see, he'll get a face full of the number 43 of Jack Miller.
Get a face full of beans, mate. He's looking back like that. Zarco still leads the way. Zarco, Marquez, Rossi, Miller, Vinales, Crutchlow, Iannone, Rins, Smith and Polis. Minus about the tyres, Dylan, down in pit lane, Zarco and Marquez.
Well, exactly so. Marquez has that soft option rear, as does Johan Zarco as well. Marquez has the medium front, Zarco has the soft front. And as Dunlop, as Michelin told us, after 20 laps, that's when they expect to see the drop-off.
Oh.
Years ago with Marc Marquez, Hoy Lorenzo and Valentino Rossi. Iannone's picked up Cal Crutchlow, so that's 6th place for the Suzuki man.
This is Iannone of old, isn't it? This is the way he rode when he was riding the Ducati, when he won that race in Austria and the race he had here a couple of years ago. 29th
place. There's back with one of our main championship contenders, Andrea Dovizioso. passed last time around by Dani Pedrosa. Live championship standings, 27 points the gap would be, going to Malaysia in just 5 days' time.
Well, that just shows what he is up against when you're battling with Dani Pedrosa just to pick up some vital world championship. Vinales, we switch back from Rossi's machine to look at Vinales. Rossi just about holds the advantage behind Jack Miller in 4th place. There is Miller just in front. Then you can see Rossi. We switch back to Maverick Vinales as we ride through the southern loop. 16 laps to go. The weather's still okay. He fancies this.
Marquez again coming out of turn number 4 has a good long look over his left shoulder. I'm not sure what he expects to see because he must know from his pit bull that there's a huge freight train behind him. They normally get told on their pit bulls G2, G3. That means how many riders are in that group. There's a group of 8, Mark. Just for this Bandavicioso, he might just be thinking, where is my championship rival? That might be coming into Marquez's head in terms of the risk he's willing to take in these final 15 laps. That might be what he was looking back for, just to see if he could see a glimpse of Andrea Dovizioso's red Ducati.
Yeah, there we are. We looked at the board then, up, isn't he, on the Suzuki?
He really is, Andrea. You know, he was worried yesterday, though, in a dry race. He felt like for the first 15 laps, which we're getting close to, he would be strong and competitive. He was worried about the lack of electronic sophistication on that Suzuki. Rossi fights back on Miller when he was going to run into some major wheel spin issues. That's been one of the weaknesses of that.
What are going to do?
Well, he knows a victory here in Phillip Island will put one hand on the MotoGP World Championship trophy for him, with Andrea Dovizioso still back in 12th place. Can't find his way through at all on Dani Pedrosa. Vinales fights back on Iannone. Pedrosa in that battle for 11th. They're a long, long way behind Polispargo in 10th place.
Straight towards the Duan corner. Here comes Rossi on the brakes. I don't know if he thought about it or not, but he had a little look up the inside of Zarco as they raced into the Duan right-hander.
Yeah, Dovizioso's got his hands full here, trying to reel in Dani Pedrosa. Pedrosa just fired in his fastest lap of the ride. Rossi on the brakes going into turn number 4. If this top 8 have a right good old ding-dong, as they are having, you can't say that Bradley Smith is out of contention completely. He was only 2.8 seconds behind Alex Rins.
Well, as Dylan would tell us, and I'm sure we're going to talk to him a fair bit towards the end of the race, this tyre is...
He needed it wet this afternoon to give himself any chance of getting in the points at the moment.
Well, the Australian crowd, they're cheering Jack Miller, but they love Valentino Rossi. And Rossi leads the way when they cross the line. There will be 13 laps remaining. We're over half distance here. And they switch just one bit, they go back, and it's changed the game. Super race, absolutely breathtaking. This is motorsport at its absolute peak. You just don't get better than this. And here we go, Marquez up the inside, up the hairpin. No way Zarco can fight.
He wrote his own chances off yesterday, said he really didn't feel like he had any chance of fighting for the win, possibly for the podium, not for the win. And here he is, halfway through this Australian Grand Prix, setting the pace at the front, trying to capture what would be, amazingly, his 116th career Grand Prix win, his 90th. In
tough old time at the moment.
Dovizioso's going to be seething. He's going to be kicking himself for that early mistake. His lap times are comparable with the guys at the front of this race. Last time around, he did a 1:30.5. That was the exact same lap time set by your race leader, Valentino Rossi, just a fraction outside of the best pace on that last lap by Mark.
Just as we were looking at Marquez thinking who's going to go past Rossi, Zarco beat us all to it and got up the inside and took back 2nd place.
Dovizioso's closed onto the back wheel again of Pedrosa in that battle for 11. He's halved the gap down to 0.2 of a second, back with the leaders through.
Maverick Vinales, a former winner here, 3rd in the race here last year. Bonamaluki Heights up the inside on the brakes, and he's made it stick.
Please, please, please don't rain here in Phillip Island.
Took the words out of my mouth.
This is going to be an absolute barnstorming final. 11 laps over the line.
And that may have a bearing on the way he rides these last few laps, certainly if the tyres start to go off. But we just have to watch the front. The 2 Yamahas. Valentino Rossi, we ride with him right in his face, number 5. Johan Zarco, here comes Zarco up the inside. Johan Zarco leads the French Grand Prix once again. Luki Heights, 10.5 to go. Zarco over the top on that 2016 Yamaha in Tech 3 colours, leads the way. On the brakes, Rossi thinks and decides not to make it up.
Iannone picked up Marc Marquez on the brakes down into turn 10. Phillip Island to start lap number 18.
He's going to hold the lead by the look of things. The shadows from the bike. It's getting later in the afternoon here, but it remains dry. He does hold the advantage over Rossi. Vinales looks very, very dangerous indeed in Finland. And Andrea Iannone.
After option rear.
Valentino Rossi retakes the lead at the hairpin. Maverick Vinales thinks about it, trying to ride round the outside of Zarco, not able to do so. Iannone is there. Marquez is there.
Dovizioso has found his way back through then on Dani Pedrosa, taking him a few laps. But there he is at the inside there at the southern loop, up the inside of Johan Zarco. Marc Marquez, he loves left-hand corners, his dirt track background. That's why he's so strong in corners like the southern loop. He's been brilliant there all race long.
He certainly has. They break hard now for the chicane. Rossi lining up Vinales. No, not close enough.
You know, around in Qatar, he's like a revitalised, a rejuvenated man right now.
I know the bike has improved greatly, but it's a lot to do with him. At last, we're getting the best out of Andrea Iannone, and we know how good he was. Anybody saw him here at Phillip Island just 2 years ago would know exactly that.
Do you remember that move?
22 points the advantage would be for Marc Marquez if the situation remains the same. Into the Duan corner they come. Vinales leads from Rossi. Iannone just tucking in behind Marc Marquez.
Andrea Iannone as well. Can you believe it? It's been a breathless opening 19.5 laps. At this stage of the race, the top 8 are split by just 1.2 seconds. Yeah, you can see there, that's front tyre on Rossi's shoulder. That was definite contact. That's why Rossi
back on Iannone and back into third place. Zarco back in the hunt as well. The two Spanish riders, though, one on a Yamaha, one on a Honda, lead the way as they come through 11, now 12, on to the Gardner Straight when they cross the line. 7 laps to go.
Vinales and Marquez stretch their legs at the front. What has Vinales got here for Marc Marquez? He said yesterday in the dry that Marc Marquez was by far the faster rider. They've clearly found something to get a bit more tyre life out of that Michelin rear tyre for the Yamaha. That's been their problem, of course. We'll get Marquez is attacking at turn 4, and he's got through.
Not wanting to break a ride through turn 8, 6.5 laps to go up to Lucky Heights.
Well, this is it. This is Dylan's tip-off point. Like Michelin said, 20 laps into the race when the soft rear tyre might just start to have a little bit of excessive wear. So we're into perhaps the crunch stage of the race. Rossi up the inside of Vinales at turn 10.
Vinales almost alongside him. They're over the line. 6 laps to go here at Phillip Island. Rossi second, Vinales. You can see Zarco behind them. But Marquez, well, at the moment, he's not open the advantage. Where did Zarco come from there?
He rode around the outside of Vinales, and there's almost contact between Vinales and
Zarco. Rossi is working, but they're all working so hard to make sure that Marquez does not open that advantage. There's a bit of a wobble from Rossi as they come up towards Siberia.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales lost 4 places there. This is on board. Look at that, he got his nose wiped. Big firm right now, you have to say.
Yeah, Rossi looks very comfortable in second place at the moment. Zarco, as always, absolutely giving it all. Andrea Iannone, we haven't seen Andrea Iannone ride like this on a Suzuki, but Marquez leads the way. They come through turns 11 and 12. On to the...
Really tight between Andrea Iannone and Johan Zarco at the southern loop. Iannone thought about a move, but then he knew there would be definite contact. Rossi there, you can see big twitch on that rear tyre as he came out on the gas from the southern loop. Is Rossi just struggling for a little bit of grip? They do get wheel spin issues at this stage of the race, do the Yamaha.
Here comes Zarco.
Here's of Marc Marquez, because it will just mean he can start breaking away at the front. His advantage now, Marquez, it's the biggest it's been for quite some time. He's almost 7/10 of a second quicker than Zarco, or up on Zarco as they drop down through Lucky Heights for the 23rd time of asking. In his debut year for the factory Yamaha team, Marc Marquez has definitely got the hammer down here in Phillip Island. He's just fired in his fastest lap of the race, a 1:30.001, 3/10 quicker than the man behind him, Johan Zarco. Marquez leads by just under 6.5 tenths.
Got Redding in behind.
Andrea Dovizioso, Rossi up the inside of Zarco again at turn number 4. How many times have those two swapped places with brilliant overtakes into that 4th corner in this race?
And Iannone now closes right up on Johan Zarco as they come up over the Siberia left-hander.
I think Jack Miller and Alex Rins are...
Well, this is our look at Zarco from the rear wheel of the Yamaha Valentino Rossi. You see Iannone there in 4th place. Gives you to see what the gap is. They cross the line with 3 laps to go because Marquez has got that hammer down.
Remember that controversial race in 20 to a full second?
just under a second, with 3 laps to go. That is the gap from the helicopter, as you can see, as they come around the Stoner corner. Rossi, Iannone, Zarco. Oh, if Andrea Iannone could put that Suzuki on the podium here.
There breakaway. He picked Rossi up at turn 4. Rossi had to run wide. Zarco swept through as well. Andrea Iannone, of course, going for personal glory. He couldn't give an iota about Marc Marquez at the front of this race.
It's all getting a little bit tight in this battle for the podium. Rossi, Iannone and Zarco. And he
would have going to Malaysia next weekend, and Marc Marquez now comes over the line at the end of lap 25. His advantage is up to 1.9 seconds. 2 seconds then now almost. Marquez leads.
What a race though it is for the final podium positions. There is Marquez, Zarco, Rossi now back into...
From Redding and Danny Pedrosa will not want to relinquish these 2 places. Rossi and Zarco get very, very close to touching again at turn 4.
I won't say they're handing it on a plate to Marquez, because I think Marquez is quite capable of pulling away, but this is more like a Moto 3 encounter, isn't it, for the battle for the podium position.
When you think about the way that...
Zarco following Rossi, Iannone coming under a fair bit of pressure now from Vinales. Crutchlow, Miller, Rins, Pol Espargaro, Bradley Smith. That is your top 10.
Last time out in Japan 1 week ago, Marc Marquez started the last lap in the lead of the race. It was the first time in his MotoGP career since 2013.
Side at the southern loop, here comes Zarco, no he's not, and Vinales right behind him. Somebody's going to be disappointed here. We ride with Dovizioso. Scott Redding, who leaves Ducati at the end of the season. There's no loyalty here, I can absolutely promise you. You also got a glimpse there of Danny Pedrosa.
Here's this 3.
Try and take it on the brakes of Rossi, and Rossi, who rides defensively quite brilliantly, will know he's coming. Here we go. This is Marquez at the top of Lukey Heights. Surely he's going to win this Australian Grand Prix. But now then, look at this battle for second place. Here they come. He's got 2 hands, less 1 finger on that trophy. Marquez wins a magnificent race here in Australia.
Valentino Rossi wins an epic fight for second place. Johan Zarco pit.
Here is that fight. Well, this is Zarco and Rossi, and as they come out of that final corner, Zarco gets mugged by Maverick Vinales.
It's on the line by Maverick Vinales. Vinales takes 3rd place by 100th of a second. Zarco for worse.
Well, it's been a bad day, but that is an absolute disaster.
Look at the faces in the factory Ducati team. They cannot believe it. That may be the final nail in Andrea Dovizioso's coffin for the World Championship this year, because what a crucial win by Marc Marquez on the lap. Yamaha's long barren run without a victory doesn't go to 4 races. It was the first time in 10 years they had not had a podium in 3 successive races, but Rossi puts that record straight, and Vinales taking 3rd place from Johan Zarco right at the end of that race.
What a superb...
God, he could not have done anything more, could he, Johan Zarco? On board with Maverick Vinales, he almost actually took
Rossi, didn't he?
2nd place from Rossi. The gap between the 3 Yamaha men over the line was less than 1/10 of a second. But that was a monumental day for the
Scott Redding, of course, who leaves Ducati at the end of the season, and Marc Marquez, his teammate Danny Pedrosa.
What a job by the KTM men as well. Pol Espargaro just getting the better of his teammate Bradley Smith. Well, it's been Dobby in dreamland this year, but that was a nightmare for Andrea Dovizioso. He has a good long look at that Michelin rim. Massive wheel spin as he tried to gun that factory Ducati down the Gardner Straight. It just would not hook up for him.
In the end, Johan Zarco had to finish off the podium. He got caught right at the finish there by Maverick Vinales. A great ride by the Moto2 World Champion. He looks...
Races, it's now 9 podiums in the last 10 for Marc Marquez. What a victory that was. He bided his time in the middle of that pack. You do wonder if it was a repeat of 2 years ago where he said he just backed off mid-race just to make sure there was not a lot of temperature in that front tyre. There was a bit of contact between Mark.
Crucial victory. He's well on course now to retain that MotoGP World Championship.